Okay, are you ready to get started? I don't know if I am or not. Let's see who's here. It is, it's Tuesday night, and I am, let me see, I'm waiting on some folks to drop on. I'm a little bit, let's see, there you go. Hey Karen, this is gonna be a fun night. It didn't start off good, but it's gonna end good. Let's see, yeah. Good to see you, girl. How are you doing? I have missed you. Let's see. There are 4 other people on here, but I'm not sure who they are yet. So, all right, so I started off, I burned the butter in the pan. I mean, not just burned, I smoked up the whole house. So that's why I'm a couple of minutes late. I had to open up the doors. I'm thinking my smoke detector doesn't work, because if it had worked, it would have worked. So lesson learned, don't leave butter. I ran back to the back to change my shirt because I had on my physical therapy shirt with my work emblem on it, so I ran back there. But anyway, I know better than to do that. But what I was doing was I was sauteing some onions for this mashed garlic potatoes, some organic green onions. But here we go. So here's what's on the menu for tonight, and I love it. I love that you're here. I love that you're cooking. I hope you're cooking. All right, so let me see if I can get myself, I kind of got a little frazzled because of that little smoke thing. I had to turn on the air conditioner to pull all that out. But anyway, so here in my Instant Pot, okay, is actually, it was 2 roasts. I bought a small roast and a bigger roast, and I just needed some food in the house, okay, and I was going to cook for a friend, and so I put the roast in here. Well, actually, I put the roast on the I'm just going to tell you how to do this. This is that Mississippi pot roast, and you can use the package of ranch dressing, but if you read the back of that, I don't think you want to. It's like the first 3 ingredients are maltodextrin, sucralose, I'm not even sure, but it wasn't anything I was going to put in my body. So you can make your own ranch dressing, and I have a recipe for that in the app for the people that are in the program. So go to the recipe guides and look, and you'll find that recipe. For the rest of y'all, I would just say Google it. It's really just spices. It's spices, you know, that's what they use it for. It's just they have to put a lot of preservatives to keep it from caking up and all that. So you'll do better to build your own, okay? Then you won't have all those toxins in your body. But in a pinch, I guess you could use it because, you know, you're in a pinch, okay? All right, so I got this back here. I don't want to mess this up. So what that is that's some of the au jus off of the roast. All right, so I put the roast in there. If you read that recipe, it calls for the porcini peppers. I put in bone broth, a couple of these. I added a little liquid smoke, and I don't even know what's all in that. Let's see, it's got water, natural hickory, smoke flavor, vinegar, molasses, caramel. All right, so I put about a tablespoon in this whole pot, so that's not so bad. And then of course I put coconut aminos. That was my thing I added. So just Google that recipe, Mississippi pot roast, and do it however you like. All right, so here's a little bit of it that I've heated up. This is cold, okay, so I'm going to sit this over to the side. Oh, and the other thing I added was a bag of frozen spinach. You could have added a bag of frozen kale. I added some carrots, and I added about 4 stalks of celery, just because I wanted to have some. I had those vegetables in the fridge, and I wanted to get rid of them. Okay, not get rid of them, but I wanted to use them, and I didn't want it just to be roast and gravy. I wanted it to have some vegetables. So you see what it looks like, all right? So over here in this pot, I've got some of the juice boiling, all right? And so here's what I'm about to do. Okay, I made a slurry. Y'all know what a slurry is? I did not know what a slurry is. Out of, hang with me, out of arrowroot, okay? Arrowroot has 8 grams of carbs per tablespoon. It's not made out of grain, it's a root, okay? I don't think there's a picture on here, but you can get this. This is Bob's Red Mill, you can get it. So if you're gonna be gluten-free or grain-free, that's what you're gonna use. So I think I put about a tablespoon, and make sure you use cold water for this slurry. If you put hot water in there, it won't work. Now, the difference in arrowroot and flour is you have to use it right away, and you can't reheat it. So I'm gonna pour this over into that broth, and it's going to thicken right up. You see that? I mean, you can't see it, but it is thickening right up. And I actually have more broth than I wanted. All right, so there we go. I'm thickening that broth, and I'm going to let it boil, but you can't let this really boil and boil and boil, not with the arrowroot. That's what's different about using the arrowroot and using flour to thicken your gravy. All right, but this makes a beautiful gravy. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It's a little bit high. Okay, so in just a minute, I'm going to spoon up some of that over this roast, because this roast is going to go over the garlic mashed cauliflower, which is what I'm about to show you now. So let me see how this is coming along. Yeah, that's pretty thick. I mean, I might want it to thicken a little bit more. And of course, the longer you let it cook, okay, I want it on low, the more it's going to thicken. All right, so, and of course, I had put salt and pepper into that, but that's your recipe for the Mississippi pot roast, so I don't have to tell y'all that. You can Google that. Somebody asked me today, what kind of recipe book do you have? I just Google stuff. Just like just now, I just Googled this garlic mashed potatoes, and I look for the one with the 5 stars, and then I'll read the reviews. And if you're a cook and you've been a cook for a long time, you know what tastes good and what works. You don't have to wonder about it. It's kind of like once you've been doing this healthy thing for a while, and people bring you stuff, they're like, what about this? I'm like, no. Well, how do you know? Well, I've been doing this a long time. Look at that label. It's got 20 ingredients. Why would I want that? I want something with a couple of, it's like what this is. This ingredient, 1 ingredient, arrowroot starch. It doesn't have 15 things in it. The same thing with this. This is organic bone broth from Kettle and Fire. It's made with grass-fed and finished beef bones. You know, the difference in just grass-fed and grass-finished is a lot of cows are grass-fed, but then they shut them up and feed them grains. And I don't want to eat something that's eating something that I don't eat, okay? So I want them to be grazed till they go to the slaughter. All right, here we go. This is cooked. This is heating up really nice. So I'm about to spoon this over this roast, because I'm going to put this over my macaroni, over my cauliflower. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to turn that off just so I don't have to worry about that burning. I've already had one burn today. All right, so here we go. So here I have the cauliflower. So here's what, and by the way, you got to have a Cuisinart. I've had this about 35 years, and it works. Everybody, you got a bunch of appliances. Actually, I don't have very many. I bought this Instapot because I wanted to, you know, my pressure cooker, I didn't like using a pressure cooker because you have to stand there and watch it. But this, you turn it on and it's good. Oh, by the way, you hit on, when you're doing this pot roast, you just hit meat and stew, and it's 80 minutes, I think. And then you got to allow time for it to cool down, okay? Because you're not going to be able to open it right away. So don't be scared. Don't be afraid to try your Instapot. All right, so here we go. I have put a bag of frozen cauliflower. I could have used fresh. I didn't go to the store today to get any. So here's what I've got here. I've got 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Now, you want to use unsalted butter. Well, where is it? Okay, here it is. Because I want to put my mineral salt in there. I don't want it salted with iodized salt that has taken all the minerals out. And I use Kerrygold. It's probably backwards. Kerrygold unsalted butter. You can get it at Walmart. I think you can now get it at Buy Low. All right, so I just put 3 tablespoons of butter in that. I am going to put probably about, I don't know, half a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of sour cream. Yep, to my knowledge, you can't find sour cream around here anywhere. And then 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And I love this Frigo Parmesan cheese. To me, it's a much better quality Parmesan cheese than the kind you buy in the shaker. All right, and then of course some pepper. I'm just going to, you know, put pepper around, however much you like. Some people don't like much pepper. And then, one of my favorite ingredients, as you know, is dill. I'm going to put a little dill in there. Oh, by the way, when I cook that garlic, that cauliflower in the microwave, I put in 3 big cloves of I smashed it to let out the flavor, garlic, and steam that in there with just a little bit of water, not much water at all. Okay, so here we go. I am going to turn this on. Now I had already pulsed that garlic some just so it wouldn't take so long. Let's see what's happening here. All right, here we go. Now, I've heard people say it's not the same as mashed potatoes. No, it's not. It's not mashed potatoes. But health is not the same as disease. It's different. And I don't want disease. I want my body to be healthy. Not that potatoes are unhealthy. It's just they have a lot of carbs. And they're going to stick to your hips. Once on the lips, forever on the hips. Now, you could do this in a mixer, but the mixer is not going to grind up the cauliflower like the processor is. So I'm going to let this just keep going. I may want to add a little heavy whipping cream, or you could add some different kind of cheese. But honestly, I'm just about to taste this. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's see. I think it needs a little more salt. So I'm going to put about that much more salt again. Okay, I didn't really read the recipe for how much salt it needed. And I'm going to let it run one more time. I have not yet found out how to get the cauliflower so that it's not grainy. So I don't think it's possible. I think it's just how it's going to be. But it doesn't bother me, but it might bother you. It might bother your husband. It might bother your boyfriend. All right, so here we go. There's probably three, maybe 4 servings in here. Well, actually more than that if you were using it as a side, but I'm going to make this kind of like a pot roast over the mashed potatoes. We kind of like it that way, so that's a good size serving. Let me move this out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this beef. So I've probably got about 5 ounces of beef here, and I'm going to spoon that over it. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is so amazing. And look at that. That is a great meal. Now, that would be my size. And honestly, that'd be a little more than I wanted. But that I'd need to put a little bit more meat. So I've got another piece or 2 here for James. But I'm just going to tell you, y'all, we don't need that much food. We really don't need much food at all. And especially if you're not out digging ditches and laying bricks and all that. I mean, I'm on my feet all day. Literally, I am up and down most of the day and doing this and teaching an exercise class. But I don't need much food. The other thing I would love to add over the top is these are the onions that I burnt. I burnt the first butter in it. And I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top. You could do them not sauteed, but I like them. I like the green part myself. They're organic onions. They have them at Walmart. I love it. So there you go. Or you could do some parsley over the top, oregano, whatever you like. Be creative, okay? All right. So I had a few. Let me move some things out of the way. Look how pretty that is. That's why I added those carrots in there. I don't know if you can see it. We can't see it in that. But that's why I added the carrots, because I wanted the color. Yeah, and I didn't add very many. And carrots do have some sugar in them. They are a root vegetable. So, but you're going to get about 4 little sprigs of carrots, 5 or 6 per serving. All right, let me make sure I didn't forget anything. All right, so this is delicious. And I've been going about 15 minutes. So that's about enough. I think I want to... Well, I've already eaten some of this, so I don't need to taste it. I know that it's delicious. Okay, so I can't really move that out of the way. So I want to show you something here. Hang with me just a minute. A couple of things. And the reason I'm doing this is I just had one of my clients text me a picture. This was the picture she texted me. And she said, they don't have MCT oil, so what do I get? Or something. She said something like that. And I'm like, that is MCT oil. And I know it's backwards for y'all. I didn't flip my camera around. But hang on. I'm going to flip it because I want you to know this. This is really, really, really important. Hang with me. I know I'm right here in your face now. Here we go. I'm going to flip it around. And there you go. All right, now. Now you should have it straight. All right, so now you're seeing it. MCT oil, okay? And it coconut MCT. So 60% of coconut oil is MCT, but this is pure MCT. And the advantage of MCT over coconut oil is it immediately goes to your cell. It doesn't have to bypass the liver. So it's a great way to get some quick energy. I put it in my coffee every morning. I don't know, I think this is about $9, excuse me. And I don't know, maybe more than that, but it's this is 90% MCT, so it's mostly all MCT. This is regular coconut oil. So if you're cooking or you're going to add it to something, I would use this. This is organic, unflavored. But if you're going to use it for energy, like in your bulletproof coffee, then you want to use this. Okay, I want to show you one more product that you're going to love. So somebody asked me today, can I have cassava flour chips? And I'm like, well, it depends. And anybody out there in my program want to say, what does it depend on? What does it depend on? Let's see. Yep, I can't see what you said, Nancy. How much do you put in your coffee? Okay, oh gosh, I don't measure anything. Let me just say, here's what I do. Maybe I do need to measure. Let me measure and then I can tell you. All right. Well, I make a thermos full of coffee. It's not quite this much, but so I'll put, let me just see what I think I'm putting. I know I'm probably putting 1 tablespoon per cup. That's about what I'm putting. And it's a big mug. It's not like a 8-ounce cup. So that's about how much I'm going to put. But I definitely don't want to waste that stuff because it is expensive. So I'm pouring it right back in there. Yeah. Okay. So I want to encourage you too. Things are so expensive these days. Do whatever you can to get the last little bit out of a can of soup or a can of tomato paste or whatever. Because if you're leaving much in there, you're probably leaving 20, 30, 40 cents in every little bit. Okay. So anybody got the answer to why it depends on about your cassava flour chips? Anybody want to answer? What's different about these and probably the ones, or even pork skins? People are like, oh, I eat pork skins. That's one of my snacks because it's crunchy. But there's something about the pork skins you're eating. Well, I never have liked pork skins. What is it? Okay, so depends on how many chips you eat. Yeah, it definitely depends on that. It does depend on how many, but there's something else about them. Okay, I'm waiting to see who gets it. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to leave that question open. I'm going to post it as a question. What is one thing about cassava chips that you need to know before you buy them? Okay, there's something different about these. These are siete chips, no grains. That's not it, but that's a good answer. Cassava is a flour, so these chips are made out of cassava flour, but there's something else about them, okay? If I read on here this, you would know, but I'm not going to read. I'm going to let you guess, and you'll never, not guess, but I'm going to let you learn. You'll never, ever, ever, ever forget it again, okay? So it's the same reason. It's the reason I don't eat pork skins. Let's see how they're cooked. Way to go, Melanie. You got it. All right, so let me read this to you. Grain-free, we know that, so cassava is a flour. So they're grain-free, they're gluten-free, paleo, they're vegan-friendly, and they're made with avocado oil. They're not made with vegetable oil. You don't want to ever, ever again in your life eat canola oil, vegetable oil, or soybean oil, okay? Now, soybean oil is in everything. I'm going to tell you, what did I pull out yesterday? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the first ingredient. Oh, one of the guys at work had some kind of sauce. And I looked at it, and the first ingredient was soybean oil. And I did a whole video last week on why you don't want that. So way to go, Melanie. If you'll come by the Meadows Park tomorrow, I'll give you a bag of these. These are made, I get these on Amazon or at Thrive Market. And they are made, these are grain-free. They're made out of cassava, which is a root. My brother Danny travels to Africa a lot. He said they eat that over there a lot. It's like a potato, but they make flour out of it. They pound it, okay, and they make cakes, okay. But this is, so it is a starchy vegetable, so you don't want to eat a lot. This one has Okay, the total carbs in 9 chips are 18 grams. So this is a treat, and honestly, if you're in my program, you don't eat this the first month because it's going to spike your carbs. Let's see who's that. And I can't even see. I can't see who else on here, but anyway. So good job, Melanie. You're listening and you're thinking. Okay. So that's all I have for tonight. I wanted to show you those 2 things. Melanie, come see me. I want to give you a bag of these Siete chips. This Siete family, one of the sisters, there were 7 members of the family, had a terrible, was diagnosed with a multiple autoimmune condition. And by the way, my program will help heal autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is just where your body actually fights itself, and it's all because of what we're putting into our gut. Okay, I need to move that. Yeah, I kept smelling something, but I think it's where I burned that butter earlier. And so this program that I'm teaching heals your gut. And the way it heals your gut is it puts good, healthy, whole nutrients into your body, eliminating the things that actually cause damage to the lining of your gut. And once your gut is healed, remember I've told you over and over that your gut is responsible, your stomach's responsible for 90% of your hormones. So is it any wonder why America is so unhealthy? It's what we're putting in our gut. Okay, so last thing. Hey, Anita, you're on the road, girl. Good to see you. I'm so proud of you. We're going to get an interview from you soon. You've lost, I think you said 30 pounds or maybe more. I can't remember. All these people are losing so much weight, I can't keep up with who's lost what. But all right, so I'm starting a program. It started Sunday. It's not too late for you to join. Go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Nancy Stanley. All of these videos get posted there. You can subscribe and get notifications so you don't miss a video, okay? And you're going to want to get this video. This is a great video, not just because I did it, but there's a lot of good information in there. So go there. But if you think you want to join, then message me. One more thing. I send out an email regularly with help tips, mind tips. So put your email in the comments if you're not getting my email, and I'll send it to you. And then you can unsubscribe whenever you want to. But I love to add value to people. That's why I exist. That's what I'm on this earth to do. So I hope you got some value out of this tonight. And I'm getting ready to clean up this kitchen. Have a great night.